through the year, right? We're on the final of this year and hopefully next year. And I just want to start off by saying thank you to all of you. We wouldn't have made it to the chamber without everybody's help. And if you'll allow me, I just wanted to go over a little bit about what happened and then maybe focus about where, we're looking for in 2021 instead of looking back. But if you remember, early on in May of this year, the city reached out and said, how can we reach out to our businesses to talk about what all these new regulations mean? And our business community stepped up in a big way. If you've been to our YouTube channel, you've seen the Safer at Home videos that we have. They've been seen by over 500 people. But I just think of somebody like Harmonic Media that came in and talked about signage and what that looked like. And that aha moment for me when they started talking about putting little stamps or little things in elevators. And I thought, gosh, are we really going to do that? And if you have been in an elevator lately, you realize that's exactly what we're doing. We're putting things on the ground. So they were, I mean, again, we were a month into it and they had figured that out and made it understandable to people. So that was really exciting. And then when the community came out and said, how can you help us when we've got to close down? Want to give a shout out to Lindsay for coming up with the time for takeout with all the restaurants and the Gift It guide. And everybody was really participatory in that. And so that was great. And then many of you came out and said, hey, it's great for that some of the businesses have got grants, but what about my sector? And, we had Opera Colorado and some of our other nonprofits come out and say, we're going to need help too. And so we worked with the city and they were great. And we created the nonprofit grant. We then created the home business grant. And then lately with the city's help, we gathered our restaurant community. And I don't know how much you've been following, but Tracy's there. She surely knows that we created a third-party delivery grant. So if you've heard about some of the concerns with restaurants, these third-party delivery systems have various fees, and so the city now was going to help pay those fees back to our restaurant community. So you just have to submit those things and those receipts, and they'll move that back. So we had grants that came in. Then when we thought we were kind of opening up a little bit, we tried to do a couple of events. When we looked at I don't know if many of you heard about the Shadow Puppet event that we had downtown during Halloween. A lot of fun. But, we walked into the businesses along that corridor, that 3,500, 3,400 block. And the Grand said, this sounds great. You guys can have a spot in here. We had Trading Company on that street give us their back kind of instead of their alley and work with us. And the city was great. They closed down all or a part of the parking. And so again, the members stepped up and allowed us to bring in, they were sold out every night, bringing in people from other parts of our community, Denver and Aurora and Golden and all kinds of places coming in, seeing what kind of cool restaurants and shops we have down there. And then when Lindsay was working with Grow and Gather, and they came up with the murals and mason jars, I know some of you participated in that, and maybe you heard about that, but we had to cap that at 70 participants. But again, our businesses, our business members really showed up and said, hey, let us create gifts for the mason jars that we had. And so that was fantastic. And then last of all, what Angela's talking about, when we were, looking at some of our workforce and that they've been displaced during this whole thing, working with the city, and Darren and ACC, another member, came up with this displaced workers boot camp. And really what that has done, and our role in that was to reach out to our members like Angela and others we have John Elway Chevrolet, we have the filling station, the new bar that just opened, to come and talk to people about opportunities. Swedish and Craig are participating in that. And so that's been a great thing where they've been able to use CARES Act money to help those people, giving them scholarships to, I think it's a $1,500 scholarship. Is that right, Angela? To take classes at ACC after they go through resume writing and career building and all of those kind of things. And I think the first one we had lots of people. The second one we had not so many people, because like you said, I think we were still doing it in-house, but we were closing down again. So, but this one that we've had that we're doing all virtual, I think we have about 30 people in that one. It's big. So really exciting. So I want to thank all of you for making this a year that we made it through together. And so I really appreciate that. And then looking forward to 2021, just to let you know, we're going to try to go back to our original programming. We're just going to do it online until we can, the vaccines come in and we can start to do all this in person again. Mm-hmm. But next month, we'll start up our young professionals group again, the ELE. You'll get some information on that. They're going to start to meet again virtually, so that'll be great. We're going to have we'll start doing our virtual coffees. We'll continue to do our virtual coffees like we're doing now until we can meet again. We tried to do our last one, again, the timing was bad. It was just the day before shutdown. We tried to do it at tabletop and we just didn't have many people show up. So we realized that not everybody's ready to do the in-persons. So we'll continue to stay virtual. Our virtual idea lab, where we have members teach other members, we have a new member that's HR professional that's going to talk about some of the new laws, employment laws that got passed back in November and what that means for all of us as we move forward with those things. And so they're going to talk about that. And then our thought co-op, which is our big idea discussion, we have lined up a group that's going to talk about new development over at the new housing over at the old Sports Authority space. So in that, if you've been over there, you know that there's Earth Trex and there's some others. There's the Red Cube, I think it's called, or that storage space, but they have a bunch of parking space in there that they think could be better utilized in maybe some housing. And so so those are the programs we've got coming up, and we've got a lot of excitement for February, March, and April. And hopefully someday we'll be able to get back and do big groups and we'll all get together. So with that, you can surely talk about whatever you want to talk about, but I thought maybe if you had some plans for 2021, please share, or just share what your concerns are now. And I'll just kind of go around and have people just, if you don't mind sharing your name for those that don't know you and where your business is. I'll hit, Tony, you had to leave early last time. Do you have to leave this time? No? So why don't we, Angela, why don't you go first if you want, since I know you've got to take off.
Oh, it's all about me. I feel like a princess. So yeah, so I actually, I'm joking about the whole ACC, but it's really been humbling and motivating. And I'll be honest, and it does bring me back to when my partner Nancy Rice and I, with Tiny Studio, we own a small art direction, creative directing for print and media. And when we started our business, and we had come out after both of us raising kids, being out of the workforce for so many years, and then that fear of how do we redefine ourselves, life has gone on. We both feel like we'd stopped in time, but everything else had moved on. So it was a really good reminder, and I didn't understand going into this presentation how much that would resonate with people. Tough decisions, redefining yourself, being displaced, trying to figure out how to go back. So it's actually been really good. And I do apologize that I've been kind of snarky about it. It's just because I have to sit in front of a classroom that's kind of brings back my PTSD from when I taught at Metro and DU. So Nancy and I have kind of expanded some of our services, partly to address the needs. So in the future, we did get one of the small grants, and we're using that money to help us with some of our promotional pieces. We were going to use it for education, but we ended up doing the library access to some of those online services. So Nancy's really focusing on presentation graphics for Zoom meetings. If you're giving a Zoom meeting and you're doing a presentation, please show your face first, smile to your audience, then go into your slideshow. Otherwise, it's too disjointed. And I have kind of started working with realtors, Sonora, and clients of theirs who may not be ready to sell, but are stuck at home working for so long and don't have budgets, and they want dust-free reconsideration. So, because I come in with an eye of what the camera sees, how the camera works, how people interact in spaces, that's kind of where I come from, set design and television and film. So I've had about 3 clients now where I go in and for just the hours of my time, I run around their house, I shop in their house, and I rearrange the rooms. I ask them, what do you do? How do you use it? What's not working?
And-
What's working? What would you like to see working? And it's extremely gratifying because unlike a lot of projects, I leave and I do the David Carradine thing and I sweep my hands and I go. So that's kind of trying to figure out ways that we can still have projects because all the television sets and film sets are still on
Yeah.
hold that I'm working on. And a lot of the big projects, a lot of print is just on hold because no one's handing out print. So we're trying to stay viable. One more thing, in the spring, I've talked to Lindsay about this more in detail and I've tapped David with it. Tiny Studio would love to come up with some kind of flash mob, contactless printmaking project. And that could be something where people even use styrofoam from home and draw in it. And we create printmaking stations and we use either a steamroller if the city has one or something, but somehow use maybe a back alley and have this big collage. And it could look like poop when it's done because it's not art directed, or it could just be this really incredible flash mob. People show up with something inexpensive that can be put onto a big giant piece of paper that then becomes a communal artwork. So kind of thinking about that in the spring and the summer, still being COVID sensitive, but lots to think about, but that's kind of a give back to the community. That could be a way that the community comes in together. And I'm sure there's got to be a construction company in the chamber that has a steamroller because I've done tests with trucks and it's great because you get those lines over your print, but it's too hard to control where somebody drives a truck over print. So that's kind of where we're at as Tiny Studio. And Nancy would be here, but it's her son's 23rd birthday this morning.
Oh,
So
that's great.
she says hello to everybody.
Great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Sonora, you're next. I'll just kind of go down to
Yeah.
blocks that way.
Thank you. My face almost exploded, Angela, when you were talking about that, because I have an idea that I want to do with people. My girlfriend and I were kind of toying with the name of like Love It or Lesage It. So I want to take like an organizer into homes and be like, we can make it look show ready. And if you want to sell it, that's cool. And if not, you still have a nice show ready home. So we'll have to talk more, girlfriend. Yeah. So sorry guys, I'm Sonora Lesage. I'm a realtor. Sonora Sells Smart. My 2021 plans are actually very exciting because I have 2 community groups, Mothers of Inglewood and Women of Inglewood, and I've decided to turn those into nonprofits. So I'm super duper excited about that. There's not much we can do right now with the shutdown, but I'm hoping turning those into nonprofits and getting some grant money, there's more I could do with it. Because right now I'm sponsoring it all through my realty, and I'd just like to have other income coming in for that. So yeah, I'm excited for 2021. It's, hopefully the worst is over and at least we all get to see each other. I was going to go to the tabletop, our last in-person one, because I was going to shut it down after that for myself, but we had a COVID scare in our quad and it was negative, but still I couldn't go until we knew for sure. So I was so bummed that I missed our last in person, but this is cool. Still get to see faces.
That's okay. We understood.
Yeah.
We were trying to, and if you get a chance when they reopen, those guys at Tabletop have been closed longer
been
than
in there.
most.
Yeah.
And so we were just trying to help a little bit with
Yeah.
that. So, but
Yeah.
great. Thank you. We look
Yeah.
forward to see what you do with the nonprofits and where they
Yeah.
go. That'll be
Yeah.
great.
Thank you.
Tony?
Hi, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Tony Arnoldi. I work for the city. I did police community relations until 2008 and then, 18. It's all running together at this point. And then I moved over to communications, and I'm excited to say that starting in January, I am going to be taking on the role of special events supervisor for the city and be focusing most of my efforts on special events. So with that being said, COVID needs to go away so that I can have special events. But I'm still working hand in hand with communications and still doing some things for the police. So I'm excited. In 2021, we're going to have our first virtual Citizens Police Academy. So that's going to be coming out. It's going to be a 4-week program, just Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 8. The last 2 weeks in February and first 2 weeks of March. So if you're interested in coming to one of the academies and it's more user-friendly being virtual, I'd love to have you. And then I did want to share, I don't know how many of you have seen this or are on one of my million emails, but I was going to see if I could share my screen for a second and share something, David, if people haven't seen it.
So I think that you should be able to, it looks like it's telling me.
Okay, let me look here.
Let me know if you can.
Let me see if I can find it here. All my emails. Can you see that?
Yep, we see an email.
Do you see that?
There's a video link. Is that what you're trying to share with us?
Yeah, I wanted to play that link. Does that?
If you click on it, does it go? Oh, it might pop up into another. Is it working?
I can see it, but I don't know.
I think all we see is an email with a link.
Go back to your share screen and see if there's some options.
Okay. Let me do that.
Like if you do your full desktop, then you can click on any window.
Okay. So we do share screen. And then now does it go?
So you start as sharing a screen. There you go. There's a little window there. YouTube there with yeah.
Okay, let's see if it will go.
There you go. So we can't hear the video of it.
You cannot?
No. But why don't we do this? Why don't we put that link in the chat for everybody and everybody can grab it?
Yeah, definitely. I will. So this is our sock campaign that we do every year. It is a big deal to our mayor, really loves this. And we compete with other cities and whatnot and try to get as many pairs of socks that we can because socks are one of the biggest needs for those that are experiencing homelessness or just in need. So all pairs of socks, or all sizes, all colors, all everything. And it's a great event. And so if you know anyone that's looking to donate some love for this winter, we'd love your socks and they can drop them off. There's several different locations. So I will put that link in the chat. And then in 2021, I am hoping to flood you all with awesome vendor and sponsorship opportunities.
Great. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Carol, you're next on my group of blocks. You want to chat a little bit? We'll just have to unmute yourself there.
Thanks. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you all. I'm Carol Willis. My business is the Clapping Oak. You know, I've been thinking a little bit about that name and the symbolism. To me, there's symbolism in it, and maybe the business is a branch of the Clapping Oak. Maybe that's life in general. And we have all these branches in us, and we bring all of that to our work. And to me, that's an encouraging picture. The work that I do has to do with communications. So I have created some educational opportunities that we've presented. I have a couple of partners that chime in on this with me and have helped me develop it on different types, different focuses of communication. And one of them is cross-generational. There are some others that I've done in the past, and I'm just giving some thought to what people are interested in. I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts. You know, what are communication challenges that you think could be addressed in the business and professional world? I'd love to hear that. You can email me. I'll put my email address in the chat and you can let me know. I also am interested, I've done copywriting and I still can do copywriting. I have realized that I get a lot more purposeful feeling when I am helping others to communicate their own thoughts. And I think that's a growing, that helps us as people. And so I love the idea of tutoring, of coaching, of even editing. If somebody has a book draft, you know, we're stuck at home more. Is this a time to reflect and write something up, right? Begin that memoir that you thought maybe you'll do. I've edited some books before publication for people, and I'd be interested in doing more of that. So that's me.
Thank you so much. And you'll put your information in the chat for everybody. Great. Taylor, you're actually next on my blocks if you want to chime in and introduce yourself.
Yeah, no, my name is Taylor Begant with American Family Insurance. I don't think I've met a lot of people in here because I've not been around for a while. So ever since the shutdown, I feel like it's definitely been a little different lifestyle, I would say, obviously staying home. Obviously good to see everybody again. Boo, I know it's been a while, so I hope you're doing well, man. And as well, Carol too, I hope that you're doing well along with Tony. I know the four of you guys. So we are located actually over in the Denver area on Sheridan and Hampton. So we actually moved from Wadsworth and Hampton to Sheridan and Hampton. So we're not too far away from Inglewood now. I think pre-shutdown, we actually combined offices over here. So we're over here. We do business insurance. We also offer personal insurance as well, which is home and auto, renters, those types of ideas or products. For 2021, you know, we're just looking forward to connecting again with the community and kind of getting more involved again with everything. Obviously, that has been something that really has just hit everyone, people I know, other businesses, or just other people in my profession just have gone silent, it feels like. So we're really looking forward to hopefully middle of next year getting back to just a normal that we can see each other. So we're looking forward to that. And then as well, just a new direction. We released this just at the end of this year, more of a, what we call, I guess we're calling it a referral program in a sense. So every time our customers refer our office over, we've been sending a $15 donation to 5 different places. I think it's Denver Dumb Friends League, the Denver Rescue Mission, and a couple hospitals in the area just to assist, because we know those are organizations that have been hit with this, so we want to help out. And American Families matching, so it's up to $30. It's something that we're really trying to push out there because we want to give back. We've been pretty blessed, and so I appreciate just the support from the Inglewood community in general from the past. Most of you probably don't know me, but I was very well involved, and it really helped my business. So I appreciate it, and this is a good group to be a part of.
Taylor, have you seen, I mean, would you be able to put a percentage on, are there people that are unable to pay in the businesses you support? Are there people that are struggling that way, or do you seeing most people are okay?
I would say 90%. I don't deal a lot with that in the office, but I've talked to, there's been a decent amount of people that have called in. American Families allowing people to defer their payments. And so people have been deferring payments or maybe making half payments. The people we've seen hit the most are hairstylists and hairdressers. Those are the people who are a couple months behind just because they haven't been able to work. So I would say yes, we have definitely seen that. We've seen a couple businesses go out of business that we insure, which is sad. But you know, hopefully they're able to get back on their feet. here soon.
Yeah, great. Thank you for sharing. Debbie, you're next in the group there.
Great. Good morning. I'm Debbie Kelly. I own 2 businesses. I'm a physical therapist, and I go to quite elderly people's homes and work with them in their home when they find it too difficult to leave anymore for exercise. And I co-own and run a travel agency. And my specialties are beach and tropical vacations and East Africa. So I love connecting people with beautiful places, but with lots of cultures so they can experience, new traditions, new foods, new people, and hopefully have a really enriching vacation and not only enjoy a beach, although I love enjoying a beach myself. So over the last few months, I've been doing a lot of virtual travel shows and learning. This last week, I spent the whole week in Tahiti, which was great. And next week, I'm going to Thailand virtually. Yeah, so that's been great. It keeps me inspired and learning a lot. So it keeps my mind good and active, which is good. And that's what I do. And now I'm being super critical of my background. I did try to put some travel stuff over here. And when it gets really cold, my fireplace shoots out cold air at me. So I had to put a blanket over it today. Usually there's not a blanket over my fireplace.
That's great. And Debbie, when you do these virtuals, is it, are they still photos or are people walking around with?
No, it's mostly live.
Wow.
So it was a lot of people in Bora Bora and these fabulous islands, and we get a little tour of their hotel or restaurant or what they do. And it's a lot of one-on-one meetings too. So I get to interact with these people and I get to meet the general managers of the Four Seasons, and
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
That sounds like
Great
a lot of fun.
connection. Mhm.
Pretend like you're somewhere fabulous. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, and I do have an appointment this morning. When you're 90, you get to set your schedule, and I oblige that. So I'm gonna have to leave early, but I'll hop on my phone so I can still listen to people's introductions.
Great. Thank you so much. Laura, I have you next.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Laura Barron. So I own All County Denver South Property Management, and I also own All County Denver Metro Property Management. And I have not spent a ton of time with the Inglewood Chamber, but I thought today would be a good opportunity just to sort of pop in and say hi and all that good stuff. So yeah, I own a residential property management company. It's never a dull moment. It's been interesting since COVID. We've really been helping tenants and owners alike sort of mitigate the hard times. Our properties are mostly middle to higher end, and they're residential for sure. We don't do a whole lot of commercial unless it's bundled in a portfolio. And we do it all from leasing to property management, so we can help find the tenant and we can also help manage the tenant. And that really comes in handy, especially for times like this. Believe it or not, we're actually at 100% rent collection. Yeah, and we actually represent a lot of single family individual owners. So in other words, yes, we have a couple of investors that have 20, maybe 50 properties, but a bulk of our portfolio is just an individual owner like me and you, and they have one property and they have 2 tenants or whatever, and they really rely on their rental income to pay their mortgage. And so it's just, we've been sort of vital in helping the small business owner in a way, because that is their investment. Some people have more in their real estate than they do in their 401k. So we've really tried to help manage that relationship. And if we have tenants that can't pay, we actually do try to take a soft approach always. We try to help them work out ways that they can get back on their feet instead of, slamming the door and, starting a war between the owner and the tenant. So we don't want to do that. But yeah, it's been a weird year, I would say. So last year we didn't really feel the effects of COVID in our business, but this year we do. So this year we've seen a lot of attrition. We've seen people having to move back into their homes. So they basically don't renew with their tenant and move back in because maybe they've lost a job or other things. So it's just something that I can't wait for 2020 to be over, and I can't wait for a fresh start of 2021. And I hope things get better this year for everybody, you know? So yeah, so it's good to be a part of everything. I'd like to be a little bit more of a part of the chamber now and then, so.
Well, we would love for you to do that. We and hopefully through these Zooms, meetings like this and the things that we'll be doing moving forward, it'll be easier for folks to just pop on real quick and either listen or do that. The other thing I will mention is, as we're doing right now, we are going to start to record these. This one's recorded, and we'll put it on our YouTube channel as well. So maybe not so much with these events, because it's just us trying to get together and share it with everybody. But when we have our presentations, we'll put those out on our YouTube channel. And so if you miss a presentation, you can always check back there and hear what is being presented by our members and our other esteemed experts in our community. So thanks, Laura. Heather, you're next in the group there.
Hi, I'm Heather Taylor. I'm a commercial real estate agent with Impact Commercial Real Estate. And we've had a really good year. I mean, there's been obviously some people having success from other people's unfortunate events, but we have been able to sublease several spaces and help people get out of their lease. So if you know of somebody who's struggling or needs some help, we would love to help any way we can. I heard your background, Laura. I just had to lock myself kind of in my closet so that I could get away from the Zoom calls for my children. So I still, after all these months, still cannot navigate school and work quite yet. So that's why my hair is not even brushed. It's just, I got to get on the call. So sorry about that. But we would just love to help anybody we can. If you do have somebody, even if it's maybe selling their business and they feel like because of this period of time, they've struggled and now their numbers are down. And so they're like, what do? I can't even sell. We've helped some people that way too. So reposition. And Q3, I was just trying to look it up on my computer. It was either 20 or 25%. We had an increase in business applications in the state of Colorado. So I think even though we have pandemics, people do reposition themselves, reinvent new businesses. And so I think at least Colorado will be able to still be strong in the end and make it through it. So
Heather, do you, on our last month, we had a handful of folks that were, I'd consider home-based businesses that were starting to grow and were saying, hey, I'm curious, but I don't know how to get into a brick and mortar. Is that a service that you help provide?
Yeah, and definitely right now it is a tenant's market. So we can get super killer deals. I just signed a lease yesterday and we got 6 months of free rent because the landlord was like, I don't know when someone else is going to move in anyways. So it really gave the business an opportunity to get started and move in. And so there's good incentives. So if it is a new business and they're worried about that, that helps too. And one other thing I forgot to say is my family and I have been trying to be as adventurous as possible with events, and we've definitely enjoyed the Inglewood stuff. We did the play that was in the parking lot. I can't remember the name of it, but that was awesome. And we did the Halloween thing. So we've really enjoyed everything you guys have done. It's been great. Oh,
great. Thank you so much. Yeah. So let's see. Boo, do you want to, we're on the last one. Let's see. How you doing?
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Like Taylor, haven't seen a lot of you guys for a while. It's good to see everybody. So there's a couple things at the cafe going on. We just started another program here. We are Still passing out meals every day to those people in need. Since COVID started, we've given out about 12,000 meals to people facing food insecurity, which is pretty awesome. We also just started it's called Cafe at Home, and it's similar to Blue Apron or HelloFresh, programs like that. We're pre-packaging every ingredient that you need for a meal, providing you a recipe card that's easy to follow, and I believe we're selling them for around $15 a person. All that information's on our website, but that is going to be the first sort of offering to the public is going to be a holiday meal that you can pick up on December 17th or 18th. It's a pretty cool program. We've got about 14 families involved who are families in need. So each week they are getting their meals for free. I guess the next news at the cafe is, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to be leaving the cafe. My last day is next week, and one of the other people on this call is Tracy, who I wanted to introduce, and she is going to be taking over my role as the community engagement coordinator. So I wanted to let her introduce herself and meet all you guys.
Thank you, Boo. I hope you can hear me. I'm out on the patio here. Can you hear me? Okay. My internet's been a little unstable, so let me know. I'm in my second week here. Been so impressed with the work of Cafe 180, but also of Inglewood and the community here. Been on Change the Trend calls, been on working with the chamber here, meeting people from the city, and I'm just so impressed with the community and the heart of this community, and just really wanting to meet everyone and tie your businesses to our mission and figure out ways.
Looks like we might have lost Tracy there. Oh, Tracy, I don't know if you can hear us, but we've kind of lost you.
Am I back or no?
There you go. Yep. Yep.
Okay. So anyway, just super impressed with everything and excited to meet people, and would love to reach out and have one-to-ones with you and learn more about what you do and how we can work together. So I look forward to more interaction.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It looks
I have
like
a quick question for Tracy and Brew. When will you allow volunteers to come back in? My 9-year-old daughter's been wanting to come in and volunteer.
Yeah, good question. We're working on that, looking at protocols, looking at ways to utilize this space I'm in right now with potential heaters and ways to give out coffee and maybe have a little bit more dialogue. So stay tuned.
Okay.
But yes, we'd love to have your support.
Great.
We miss everyone. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Maybe, I mean, I don't know that this is quite the place to talk about it, but maybe I can sponsor a meal or two through my businesses. I'll talk to you about that. I'll email you. Cool.
Tracy or Sonora, do you want to put your, do you guys have your emails? Do you have each other's emails?
No, but I'll put it on the chat.
Okay, great. So you guys can sort of see you, Angela. Thank you so much.
No, wait a minute. Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Okay, because I forgot to say that Tiny Studios sponsored a contactless, under the radar, carport, craft sale, jumble sale, garden gnome making station in my driveway.
And how did that go?
And so 100% of the proceeds went to the House of Hope. We had 8 tables all the way across a double wide carport in the U, and we had a garden gnome station, but parents had to actually technically help their kids. And you're not gonna believe how much money we raised, given that we put 0 money into it. We made
That's great.
$2,500.
Wow, that's fantastic.
In, well, for 2 days, we had it up, and then we had contactless. So we had the Venmo account that I would write a check to afterwards. We made linked directly to House of Hope, because right now they're at capacity. We also took checks written out to the House of Hope, and we had my daughter's cash register for anybody who put cash in there. But otherwise, they were hand sanitizing stations. We had arrows going in and out, and we never had more than 4 people shopping. And what I will say is because we're under the radar, we asked for forgiveness later. We didn't have a permit because it was my carport. And we had so many young families say, thank you. Now we could shop for grandma. We could shop for grandpa. These 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds haven't been shopping. And I watched parents give their kids single dollars because we had $1 items and $2 items. And I just want to thank the community because everyone came out who saw the Englewood Chamber. Thank you for posting that. And I would say 65–75% of people didn't even know that House of Hope existed, that in Englewood's backyard was a homeless shelter focused on spouse abuse, child abuse, literally in Englewood. So I would love to maybe partner with Cafe 180 and do another one of those like under the radar, quiet sorts of things, because it did in fact, the biggest thing was it promoted institution that most people didn't even know existed in a way that was wonderful, but it was timed with the weather. So we had some incredible impromptu conversations. Everybody wore masks. Everybody was, we had our rules of engagement. You would have been proud of us, David. We even had markings on the ground. So I do need to run in about 2 more minutes. So thank you for your extra 5 minutes.
Thanks. Thank you. And I think we got Lindsay just came back on. Lindsay, can you hear us?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. I have a couple of quick things to say. Just in case you guys aren't aware, we do send out a community email, usually the 1st and 3rd week of each month. So if you do have some type of promotion that you are wanting to get out, feel free to pass that along to me, and then I can include it in the community email. Or, you know, if it doesn't fit within that time frame, but there's something to share, we can definitely reshare it on Facebook or some other type of social media. Another thing that you may not know is we did add a little job listings board to our website. So periodically, you know, you may have a need for a new employee who might be seeking, or you may want to share a job that you may have. And in that case, feel free to email myself or David, and we can just put your listing on there. No big deal. It's easy, easy peasy. We also have the gifted guide. Not sure if you've seen that yet. We did share it on social media last week. We'll probably push it out again next week. Basically what we did was go through and try to find the local businesses that are doing do have an online presence for shopping that are also selling gift cards. And then same thing with the restaurants. Restaurants that have gift cards and or merchandise, we tried to put them on that list as well, so that people that really aren't going out at all can click on our site and the links are right there, and they can help a restaurant out by purchasing a gift card, or you know, if they want to do a little shopping online, they can do that as well. So if there's a business that you think is missing, feel free to reach out to me, because I definitely want to keep that updated, you know, at least through the holidays for people. So just let me know. I think that's all I have. Thank you guys for a good year. It's been interesting for sure. I don't know if you remember, but I came in last December and then really was only on board for a month, you know, short couple of months. And then we went, you know, to 5 hours a week. So been challenging to try to get all of these things done in our short amount of time. We did go back to our regular hours in August, which was good because we had a lot of ideas that we hadn't been able to bring to fruition because of our limited hours and resources. So
thanks, Lindsay.
Thanks.
Thank you. So I think we're almost at our hour. I don't know if anybody, thank you guys all for showing up, and we'll continue to do these and just kind of touch base.